Can you talk to English?
Oh, I don't know. Let's get through this line first, and then we're all set. We got to get onto the bus. We'll get onto the bus.
Hello mọi người, giờ hôm nay mình sẽ đưa các bạn đi xem cái bảo tàng của tên lửa các bạn. Bảo tàng của tàu vũ trụ á, tàu Quân Khôi á. Đây là mình sẽ đi vô cổng ha. Đi vô cổng. Hay. Cái
Your feet are pointing the wrong way. Is it one at a time or is it two?
đây, trước khi vô cổng là mình phải chụp hình trước.
Yeah. Look up. Look right up there. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay.
Thank you. Đó, đi vô cổng thì người ta cho mình chụp cái hình.
We might be like astronauts in this picture. We'll see.
Rồi chút nữa mình sẽ đi ra. Người ta sẽ cho mình coi hình rồi mình có thể lấy hình hả? Đây là mình đi vào để đi thăm vòng quanh cái bảo tàng á, mình lên xe buýt mình đi. Đó, lên chiếc xe như vậy đó. Rồi mình đi. Và bắt đầu đi ra rồi mình sẽ quay cho mọi người xem. Đây là đi vòng quanh nè các bạn.
So that's where we're going to go today. We're going to take the special bus tour for VIPs and go drive all around and see where the rockets launch and probably where the shuttle lands and the vehicle assembly. It'll be great. I don't know. Some things might be closed if they're going to do a rocket launch, but we'll see. And when we drove in here, we came in this way. We came up that way.
Là mình sẽ đi vòng quanh để xem cái quá trình người ta sản xuất cái phi đạo cái phi đạo tên lửa này nè. Đó. Người ta sẽ phóng lên đầu tiên của 68 nước. 68 nước.
What?
Làm việc và sẽ phóng cái tên lửa đó lên vũ trụ lần đầu tiên. Bây giờ mình ngồi đây để chờ xe buýt. Mọi người đi vô cổng rồi, ngày nay chờ. Ngày hôm qua mình đi tham quan ở bên trong inside, thì hôm nay sẽ đi outside. Hôm nay sẽ đi bên ngoài. Yeah. Talk. Yes, can you talk? Can you talk? Today we go around.
Yeah, when we're going around, well, we'll be able to hear the person on the bus is going to describe. So we should be able to hear them talk while we're on the bus, telling us what we're seeing and where everything is. So, but I think we'll go, let's go up onto the other side there. We'll stand up front there, I think. So when we get on the bus, we can get the seats that we want, okay?
Okay.
Let's go right up here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that is the land where every one of those is a launch pad for a rocket.
Đấy.
A 2-hour tour here, not quite up to Gilligan standards, but pretty close. And as a result, because most of the tour there will not be restroom capability. About halfway through, we have some porta potties. So unless you are madly in love with porta potties and you have the slightest inkling to go to the room of rest, you see that blue tent area? A little beyond that is a gray building. That's our nearest public restrooms. I would strongly suggest you hit them and hit them hard before we start getting on the bus, because again, won't be a big opportunity to do that. And I have some
Người hướng dẫn
volunteers
chương trình
that
đó
are going to be
hướng dẫn các
leading
bạn
the
trong
way.
cái
So
tour du
I
lịch bắt
love it.
đầu. Ok, người hướng dẫn chương trình đã hướng dẫn các bạn trong vòng 2 giờ đồng hồ, 2 tiếng đồng hồ sẽ đi rao quanh cái đảo này, quanh cái biển và quanh cái nơi làm việc để mà cho cái phi thuyền bay lên không gian của 68 nước ngày xưa đó. Bây giờ đây là gọi là cái bảo tàng, cho nên là người hướng dẫn nó hướng dẫn mình phải đi vệ sinh các thứ trong thời gian 2 tiếng đồng hồ. Chúng ta ngồi lên xe và chạy vòng quanh. Đây là người tài xế lái xe của mình nè, và là người hướng dẫn chương trình kết. Anh ấy rất là hài hước ha.
Alright, so are we all clear and ready to rock and roll? Alright, our line leader and her family are going to go where it says actual NASA images, and now our assistant.
Rồi, người hướng dẫn sẽ đưa mọi người ưu tiên trẻ em với lại những người khuyết tật lên trước. Đó. Rồi những người còn lại sẽ đi theo sau.
Guys, you can stop now. That's fine. That's perfect. You are overachievers, and I love it. That is exactly what we're looking for here at the Space Center. Overachievers. All right. So, first thing, I want to apologize for the weather. We've had a...
Rất là nhiều chuyến nha các bạn, trong ngày á, rất là nhiều chuyến, bởi rất là đông du khách liên tục đi thôi ha, rất là đông du khách trong ngày. Xe của mình nó đò lên đây, mình sẽ lên chuyến xe buýt này nha các bạn. Xe của mình sẽ lên chuyến này ha. Đây, xe buýt rất là lớn ha.
No już jedziemy tu, czy idziemy dalej? Tu? Pasuje? Pasuje ci?
Đây,
No to siedzimy.
người ta lên rồi thứ tự ngồi. Đây, xe buýt rất là lớn nha mọi người. Đi lên và thứ tự ngồi. We live here, very good. And you? Đã là bắt đầu lên xe buýt rồi nha mọi người.
Ooh, let me pick my hair. Nice haircut.
You're talking and go the bus and go around. We're talking about not to take picture talk.
No. We'll have to see. So you can stop and not.
Đó là cái biểu tượng của cái tàu con thoi đó các bạn. To lắm.
One. Welcome, Noah. You feel welcome to Noah. He feels welcome. So my name is Bill Schaefer. I'm a communicator here at the Visitor Complex. And again, before we start not standing up while the bus is in motion until there's an alligator on one side of the bus or the other.
Có những trường học mà cho trẻ em đi tham quan du lịch.
We're going to have, good Lord willing, several stops. And so we had to try a turtle on the right side. I'll tell you about my ADD in a moment. Yeah, we wanted to put people in space. So as Americans, we had a little one-person spacecraft called Mercury spacecraft, and 7 astronauts were in. How competitive were they? They were so competitive that during one of their first press conferences, they were asked who they thought would be the first person in space. All of them raised their hands except for John Glenn and Wally Schirra, who raised both hands. Well, we've already established that Yuri Gagarin beat him, so we had to catch up. Again, if you look to the right side of the bus, you'll see a black and white striped rocket with red lettering on it, and a model of a one-person Mercury spacecraft. Give you an idea how tiny those were. Get your duck face out again. Right below pad 26 would be pad 5. And on May 5th, 1961, we used that launch pad to launch our first. That continued, the astronauts probably would have passed out and died. But Dave Scott, the pilot, flipped switches. His commander next to him flipped switches, killed the thrusters, causing the problem, cut their mission short, but it saved their lives. If you're super into the space program, you may have heard of the commander of that mission. His name was Neil Armstrong. You may have heard of him from something else. Anyway, we learned a lot in the Gemini program, so we were ready to test out our Apollo 3-person spacecraft, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna stop this, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the launch pads we're passing. We're actually gonna loop around and come back the other way, and I'll tell you a little bit more about those launch pads. But in the meantime, do I have anybody on my bus that is a Lord of the Rings fan? Any Lord of the Great, Lord of the Rings fan. All right, if you look straight ahead of the bus to the left. All right, it's not really the Tower of Sauron. That's actually pad 36. And that is where Blue Origin launched recently its New Glenn reusable rocket. And the reusable part didn't go as well as they had planned, but they just wanted to get into orbit, so they were happy with that launch. But that is the pad. Blue Origin. So if you'll look across the river, as Noah turns around, you'll see what looks like 2 Eiffel Towers and a building that looks like it got attacked by the guy from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's pad 37B. 37B is where we, a consortium of 2 companies, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, used to launch Delta rockets. Now there are no more Delta rockets. Everybody go, aw. However, do not despair. United Launch Alliance has another location to launch rockets, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Meantime, look to the left of that, you'll see a white building, and then what looks like 4 birthday candles for the world's biggest 4-year-old with a black spike going up the center. That's pad 40, and that's where SpaceX launches its Falcon 9 rockets, what we call single stick missions. Those are not Falcon Heavies, but those can be satellites. We had actually one instance, I think it was Crew 9, launched from that launch pad. That kind of large stick on the left side of where the birthday candles are is actually a crew access arm, and astronauts for Crew 9 actually got on board their Dragon spacecraft on that, and they actually went into orbit, and they're on the space station now. But yeah, we have had, so we've had, what, 9 launches this year so far? We had 92 last year. I could be 10. The sign said 9, but I think you're right. I think it was 10. I think last night. So anybody see last night's launch? Yeah. All right, that was where it launched from. And we've had a lot of launches. No, sorry, Dave. Well, that's incorrect. That is not correct. That is where a Monday launch is that's coming up. It's going to be a Starlink launch is going to launch from. However, we'll show you the launch pad where last night's launch went from, and you'll go freaking out all over the place. Again, a lot of launches from that launch pad. To the left of that is a gray building. To the left of that, what looks like the world's largest porta potty, but that is actually called a vertical integration facility, and that's pad 41, where those 4 lightning arresters are, and the upside down L near it. That is where United Launch Alliance, remember I told you they'd have another place to launch, that's where they launch their Atlas V rockets, and that is where they're also launching what are called Vulcans. And Vulcan use a Vulcan, and it is going to have
Ok
a
mọi người,
winged
bởi vì cái
spacecraft
clip mình
called
nó
the
dài
Dream
quá cho nên
Chaser,
mình sẽ hẹn
built
các
by
bạn phần
Sierra
tiếp theo
Space,
nha.
formerly
Mình sẽ tạm
the
dừng ở
artist
đây sau
formerly
khi
known as
đi
Sierra
vòng quanh
Nevada,
bảo tàng
and they can actually land on a runway. In fact, it's going to resupply the space station and then
Florida.
come back and land at the shuttle landing facility.
Okay.
And they're hoping to do
Bye bye,
that
hẹn gặp
this
lại.
year.
Thank you.
That's